All right, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode 5. Let's dig in with Bri and Maddie. My name is Maddie from CrossFit Glen Burnie, and today we have a special guest with Coach Bob as well.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Bob. Today, we want to share with you 3 reasons diets fail and tips to help you change that narrative to feel more confident in your own skin. We believe something as fundamental as nutrition should not be complicated. We want to help you build a strong nutrition foundation so that you can meet those short and long-term goals to feel the way that you deserve. Yeah, so this nutrition program has helped over 45,000 people around the world take control of their health. If you're looking to create your own success story, while this is simple, it is far from easy. Do you know what all 45,000 people that this has helped had in common? They had a nutrition coach to help them understand the best plan to achieve their goals. Even me, coaches need coaches too.
Right on. So how many Mondays or January 1st have you decided I'm going to start today? I'm going to start a diet. I'm going to clean out the pantry. There are so many diets that we've seen marketed in magazines and social media, even friends and family that are promising quick fixes. And many times, you start off strong Monday, you have a great Monday only for the weekend to be tempted, or you get burnt out, or you just get too hungry. You are absolutely not alone. The average person will try 126 fad diets over the course of their lifetime. And then a poll of 2,000 participants found the average person will embark on at least 2 fad diets a year, which was then typically abandoned in just 6 days. With all these diets and trials and errors, there must be a reason why they fail already by day 6. So let's dive into 3 reasons why your diet has failed.
Right on. Reason number 1 is it is too restrictive. The weight loss market is now worth a record of $90 billion as of 2023. This industry targets our emotions, our insecurities, and our microwave society tendencies. We want to look a certain way right now, but our bodies are not like Amazon Prime. Because of this, we are able to market things like low carb, low fat, no sugar, or promise that you can lose 30 pounds in 30 days. We've all seen those claims in recent reels and advertisements, right?
Yes, definitely. There is so much information out there that people get confused, and those more drastic and restrictive diets that ultimately lead to losing weight fast, but regaining it all back as they end up binging on foods that were restricted. This is a super common cycle, and largely the reason these diets will not work for the long term or be successful in the long term. So think about maybe a time that you restricted your favorite food like cookies or chips. How often did you think about that food you couldn't have? How long were you able to stay away from the forbidden until you succumbed to the craving, throwing mindfulness aside?
That's right. Bob, if I tell you right now, don't think of a purple elephant, what did you just think of?
Purple elephant came right to mind. That's for sure.
That's right. I mean, there have been so many studies on these diets for a vast majority of us. They found that it is setting ourselves up for failure. A study from National Institute of Health regarding restricting sugar from the diet states that many people try to lose weight by periodically forbidding themselves from eating certain foods. You've heard of I'm not going to eat sweets for a whole year, but
Right.
Depriving yourself of tasty food can backfire. It can activate the brain's stress system, causing anxiety and withdrawal-like symptoms, and leaving you to overeat that forbidden food when you do get a chance. In other words, the well-known restrict binge cycle. So if there is an overwhelming amount of us who fall victim to this cycle, How can we better regulate our eating to achieve these goals that we have identified?
Yeah. And how many times have we had an indulging weekend and then promised ourselves Monday morning, oh, we'll never do that again, or I'm not going to do takeout for the rest of the year, or that sort of thing. It's so relatable. At the end of the day, the more restrictive diets are not working on building those healthy habits and sustainable habits, right? They are really just causing you stress and anxiety, shame and guilt until you break, which leads to binging, right? So all negative, not positive things, right? So this is why 80% of those who lose weight will gain it right back with this binge cycle. An easy solution is to first choose whole food options with good protein, healthy fats, carbs. Yes, we are definitely pro carbs, and tons of veggies.
That's right. This leads us right into the plate method. Bob, can you take it over of walking us through this?
Yeah, one of the easiest ways to start finding that better balance is by reshaping that plate using the plate method. So what I mean by this is that we're filling half of our plate with those non-starchy veggies, a quarter of that plate with the protein, and one quarter with the starchy carbs. And once you fill your balanced plate, here's a few tips that really kind of lead us onward and help us to be successful. One of them is to think about eating those veggies and protein first, leaving those starchy carbs for the last thing on the plate. Also, it's helpful to kind of eat slowly and be mindful. Try setting a timer for 15 or 20 minutes, especially if you typically eat quickly. Try to extend your eating time for the full duration. And if you're struggling to eat slower, put your fork down between each bite. So it's going to feel awkward at first, but just set that fork down and see how that will actually help you to be a little more mindful with eating. And finally, if you're still hungry, go back for, if you're going to get seconds, go back and get those non-starchy veggies.
That's right.
Yeah, I
System has saved me.
Yes. I mean, I just wanted to say, like, eating slower is definitely something that I struggle with, being a mom and typically having to feed two little ones at the same time as me trying to eat. But just putting my fork down has really helped kind of me be more intentional about consuming food.
Absolutely.
So next, I encourage you to find a more mindful balance with those treats. Rather than going all week denying that can lead to overconsumption. Find a mindset where you can have those treats throughout your week and a more mindful portion size. Not only will this help you stay away from feeling anxiety or binging, but it will also help you create a more positive relationship with your body and your food. Listen to those hunger cues and, where you are satisfied, right? Before consuming, I like to pause and ask myself, does this serve my goals?
This brings us to reason number 2, inconsistency.
Hey, guys, raise your hand if you've heard of the 80-20 rule, right? So not only have most of us heard of that rule, but how does it apply to nutrition? This would be something if somebody was perfect Monday through Friday, and then one day out of the week, they just decide, hey, this is my 20%. I'm going to go in, I'm going to have pizza, beer, ice cream. You get the idea. So, think back to that graphic we just looked at. This rule is so appealing because it allows you to remain inconsistent with your habits. And that's why this is the second reason why our diets tend to fail.
A study published back in 2017 suggests while there is still much debate regarding the optimal weight loss diet, evidence suggests that adherence to a diet, regardless of the type of diet, is an important factor in finding success. In other words, reason number 1, highly restrictive diets, is leading to reason number 2, inconsistency. I love this quote on here too. If content is king, consistency is queen. Let's talk a little more about those smaller steps.
Yeah, so adherence is strongly associated with weight loss success over the short and long term. Knowing this, the solution to this problem becomes clear. You should find the right balanced plan for you that you can stick with no matter the situation you're in, meaning travel, holidays, celebrations. Starting with one thing at a time and slowly add the next habit until you've created a plan that you can stick to long term. This incorporates that whole foods approach with a mindful balance of treats. You may be wondering, what is just one thing I can start with? Here are a few examples. Drinking 8 ounces of water at every meal and snack, eating balanced breakfast every morning, bringing a balanced snack to work each day, eating a half a plate of veggies at lunch and dinner. Working with a professional is the best way to build the sustainable plan. They will be able to guide you to achieving your short and long-term goals.
Right on. Reason number 3 is you are doing it alone. Wanting to lose weight or change your body in any way, along with starting a fitness routine and a different eating pattern, is actually a very emotional experience. It's very intimate. Oftentimes, this leads us to start our journey without ever sharing it with our friends and family due to the fear of failure. This leads us to reason number 3, your diet fails. You try to do it alone. While this journey can and should be simple, that doesn't make it easy. Our emotions, stress levels, energy levels, relationships, and so much more all directly relate to our consumption. Have you ever felt so stressed that you started to crave comfort food? That's normal.
When things feel hard, it is easy to start negative self-talk, which leads us to throw in the towel. We can't always have that little voice in the back of our head telling us to keep it up, keep the hard work up. This is why you should share your journey with your inner circle and find someone who will be there for you in the judgment-free zone to remind you of those bright spots, no matter how small, like your friendly nutrition coach.
That's right. And this solution to the third reason your diet fails is do not do this alone. One study found that those who enrolled in a weight loss program with friends did a better job keeping their weight off. In addition to teaming up with friends, these participants were given social support in addition to standard treatment. 2/3 of those with support kept the weight off 6 months after, while only 1/4 of those without that support found the same success. So tell your friends and family what your goals are, and more importantly, why they are important to you. Further, having a nutrition coach there to support you and keep you accountable has shown not only to help you start the journey, but stay strong for long-term success. We see this in the gym all the time too. You know, if you tell a friend that you're coming to the gym and then you don't show up, they're going to reach out to you. So telling your friends about your nutrition goals is going to go the same there as your fitness goals.
All right. So let's dive in to HSN Principles. With all the misinformation out there, we know this can feel overwhelming. To start building your foundation, here are HSN principles that have helped so many people take control of their health one habit at a time. Number 1 is add more whole foods into your diet.
And if this looks familiar, Bob did a great job walking us through this earlier, but another is that plate method. So start with choosing those whole food options and less processed food that's packaged with sodium, fat, and sugar, and reshape your plate with this plate method. Half of your plate of non-starchy veggies, 1/4 lean protein, and 1/4 starchy carbs and mindful healthy fats.
All right. Principle number 2. When we say balance, we mean, does every meal and snack you consume throughout the day contain a carb, protein, and fat? Pairing each meal and snack with all 3 of these macronutrients will keep you fuller and fuller longer. Remember, this balance of all 3 macronutrients is a rule of thumb for every meal and snack outside of your pre and post workout.
Principle number 3 is to limit that added sugar. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 6 teaspoons for women and 9 teaspoons for men. But did you know that the average person consumes over 150 pounds of sugar per year? That's over 46 teaspoons of sugar a day. So it's not surprising. Sugar is super addicting. It feels great when we have it, but it's hidden in so many of the foods that we eat, especially those processed foods. So watch out for that added sugar.
If you are looking for a perfect plan that leads to success, here is the first step. You have to make that commitment to yourself. Again, we've said it's simple, but it's not easy. But with that being said, we are here to help you. The second step is asking for more help, support, and accountability. Don't worry, we've got you covered.
And we're also very excited to announce that we have a nutrition challenge just kicking off this year, the New Year Nutrition Challenge that's starting on January 27. We have 5 spots that are available. And in this challenge, you get to work individually with your coach. You'll be discussing your goals both at the beginning and the end of the challenge. And you're going to have that group support throughout the challenge to keep you accountable. There's a link here, and you can sign up for that today.
That's right. I can't believe there's only 5 spots left. These participants have been rolling in this, especially over the weekend. But yeah, we're really excited for this challenge.
So as you can see, the restrictive diets marketed to the public, the inconsistencies they cause, and the lack of support are the reasons that our diets are failing us. And so this is the time for us to feel empowered to change that narrative and find the results you have been looking for. Get yourself a nutrition coach. Tell your inner circle to get that support and find a balanced and sustainable plan that you can stick to.
Okay. So one of the common questions that we receive as CrossFit and nutrition coaches here is, how does sleep affect my health and wellness goals? Sleep doesn't get the attention it deserves in our journey. Sleep actually plays a huge role in many aspects of our health and wellness goals. Here is an example of how sleep, or lack thereof, affects our ability to stay on track. When we are not getting enough sleep, cortisol in our bodies increase. Another hormone, leptin, which makes us full, decreases. And then ghrelin, our hunger hormone, increases. So in summary, we are prioritizing the storage of fat and water in our body due to the increased cortisol. We are feeling less full and more hungry. The shift in these hormones due to lack of sleep may increase cravings and overall consumption. So basically, we're more likely to overeat, and probably those easy to consume salty snacks is probably a lot of our go-tos.
Yeah, we do see this question pop up a lot as part of our holistic approach of covering sleep. Athletes may ask, why are we talking about sleep and nutrition coaching? This is why. Another one we get a lot. What if I don't like veggies? I have heard this so many times. I wore my veggie shirt today for a reason, but I want to challenge you and ask you if maybe you just haven't found the way that you like them yet. I personally would not like microwave steamed cauliflower, but roasted in the oven, it's delicious. One of my go-tos is going to Costco or Sam's Club. They have these roasted veggies, super clean ingredients, no added weird oils or anything. And you can just toss them in the skillet, in your air fryer, in the oven. They're already seasoned and delicious. The microwave freezer bags, a lot of people don't know that not only can you steam them, but you can also throw those in your air fryer or your oven to roast them.
That's a great idea about those veggies. I love that.
Yeah.
So another question that we hear pretty often is, how long is this going to take? Especially if we've tried diets in the past and we found that we are inconsistent. It's so important to realize that it's going to take our bodies time to make those changes. Studies have shown that our bodies are going to take at least 4 weeks before they start to make those changes. It might take up to 8 weeks before our friends start to notice, and 12 weeks before we ourselves start to notice those change. So it takes time for us to build that consistency and demonstrate that and convince ourselves that we're consistent with this new habits we're building. So give it time. and you're going to love the results.
Absolutely. It does not happen overnight.
All right. So another frequently asked question is, where should I even start? I want you to start with one thing at a time. Maybe it's something you already have in mind, or maybe it's one of the things we discussed today. But the best and fastest way to reach your goals is to work on one thing, one-on-one with the nutrition coach, to build an individualized plan just for you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for today's nutrition talk. I hope that you learned something.
Yes, absolutely. And please send us a message or leave a comment if you have any questions, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.